right thing to do. As we said from the beginning, I mean, even if you go back down to March 13th, we will continue to prioritize the health and wellness of our players and staff. And based upon the behaviors of, Zach and Clev, we felt that they had an elevated level of risk. And so we wanted to make sure we were doing what we could do to protect the rest of our group. And so that's why we, have them away from the team for 3 days, and we'll get them tested. It's not dissimilar from what we did with Franmil Reyes, a few weeks ago when, I guess that was back in July, when he was also in an environment that we would deem to be higher risk. At that point, we didn't have the same detailed protocols that we have now, but it was a similar situation. And we also quarantined him and had him go through a series of tests before he was admitted back into the environment.
I still think as a group, our guys have done an extremely good job, and they've been very conscientious. This one kind of hurts. And we talked about it a little bit as a team even today. And we'll deal with it like we always do. We care about each other. Doesn't mean you don't get disappointed with each other or even mad at each other sometimes. But what I care about is making it better. Not being vindictive, just trying to figure out, okay, how do we make this better so it doesn't happen again? And the players will have a lot to say about this because, again, taking ownership of what we're doing is really important.
But you've been around locker rooms for a million years, different sports and all. Francona seems different because he's so likable by his players. This is a direct shot at him, his age, his vulnerability, and all these things. And probably those guys, they weren't taking a shot at him personally, or my guess is they didn't realize it or didn't think of the repercussions. And yet this is, how serious is this within the locker room?
Well, I think, Antonetti mentioning Franmil Reyes is interesting because I really had forgotten about that. Now, clearly that was before they reported. His reporting was then delayed because he had been out. But I think that these guys being young guys, I don't think they think about maybe some of the older, more vulnerable people around them. We see that all the time with people in these pictures of young people going to the beach, and they don't understand that when they go home, they might be around a grandmother who's sick or somebody, an older person with a pre-existing condition. So I don't know. I tend to think this was just a more unthinking than it was, oh, come on, we don't need to worry about this stuff. Yeah. I just think they just didn't give it as much thought as they needed to.
I picture them getting caught and both of them going to their foreheads and says, oh my God, I can't believe I did that.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think there was malice intended, but malice came out.
Yeah, and hopefully he's right about the players. And I just saw something that Frankie Lindor had either put on Instagram or tweeted. And when he says that we all need to look in the mirror and not just see ourselves, but know that there are people behind us, that, friends, family, coaches, staff, however that definition is. That's why people are wearing masks, right? We're trying to protect each other right now. And the people who seem to be throwing up the roadblocks to all of that, whether it's in the local grocery store or somewhere else, I just don't understand the reasoning.
Especially when we know how the effect it could have and the positive effect it could have.
I mean, we're just trying to keep each other safe as much as possible. And if it turns out that masks or social distancing or not going out to bars isn't as effective as medical people are trying to tell us it is right now, what's the harm then? We did it for a good reason.
All right.